Hello and welcome to Chicken Bros. My name is David Heath.
Him! I want to be him! I want to be David Heath!
Oh, okay, I get it. Um, Although you guys might not, but you will in a second. This is episode 6 of the newest series of Doctor Who called Rogue. And no, this is not a crossover with X Men.
As much as David wishes it was.
Oh gosh, seeing Rogue, that Rogue with the X or with the Doctor. Oh man. Anyway, no, this is an episode that takes place in England, 18 something, the 1800s.
Yeah, and Ruby's like, oh, this is just like Bridgerton.
Yeah, it's Bridgerton. Oh, yeah. So her and the Doctor are wearing like old Regency clothes. They look all nice and dapper. Um,
Ruby looks real good in that dress. I saw a picture of that dress like long before the show even came out, and I was like, oh, she is on fire.
this girl is on fire. Yeah. Anyway, um, so they're dancing. It's all like nice and Regent and all that kind of stuff. I will say there's a point very early on where Ruby sees a painting again of the Susan Twist woman. She keeps popping up.
Yep.
Anyway, just wanted to get that out of the way. The Doctor notices somebody just kind of in the an overtop balcony, just like watching the dance happen. Played by
Yep.
Jonathan Groff, by the way.
David was waiting for that. David was waiting for Jonathan Groff to pop up in this show because he knew he
Yes,
was.
yeah, because I was interested because I've never seen Hamilton, but I know he plays King George. I have seen him in The Matrix where he played Agent Smith, like the newest Matrix movie. So I was like, okay, this guy's a great actor and usually good at playing villains. He's gonna be the bad guy, right? So when I saw him up in that balcony, I was like, oh yeah, total villain.
Yeah, because
Um,
the villain of this episode is this alien
or group,
who,
yeah, yeah,
like, shapeshifts.
yeah. Shapeshift is the right
Something
word.
like the best way I can describe it is that like they absorb a person's personality and look, leaving a shriveled husk behind.
Which is funny because this episode's called Rogue because it's kind of like Rogue's power if she could shapeshift into the person she takes powers and energy from.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Like it's funny that that's. I don't know if that was intentional. I doubt it. But anyway, um, Jonathan Groff's character is named Rogue. That's who the episode is in reference to.
Yeah.
And I swear, like everything was setting off all the red flags for this guy to be a bad guy for me. The way he and the Doctor talk to each other, and the like at one point because he's looking for these aliens. By the way, that Noah's referring to are called the Cholders,
Mm.
and Rogue at first assumes that the Doctor is one, so he points his blaster gun thingy at him and reveals that he's a bounty hunter, uh, trying to get these things in for a price. So he takes them to his ship. The Rogue takes the Doctor to his ship and puts him on this thing that's supposed to trap him, and um, the whole time the Doctor's flirting with him the whole time, and like
Yeah.
starts turning on his sound system and it's playing that song "Can't Get You Out of My Hair." He's Doctor classic, and so he's like, "I can prove to you that I'm not a
That's
Cholder. Look at this. This says that this will prove it." He holds out the psychic paper.
psychic paper.
Rogue reads it and goes, "It says you're hot." No, wait, that was an accident. Does it mean you're hot or that I'm hot?
I'm hot.
Who's hot,
Who's hot,
Doctor?
Doctor?
Flustered looks good on you. You should wear it more often. And so the
It's fitting him to
Rogue
die.
Rogue traps him on this thing that he's standing on, and then once it charges up, he pushes a button and will drop him somewhere. But before he does it, the Doctor tosses the psychic paper at the thing that's scanning him and shows all of the different faces that he's had over the years. It's funny that the first
Yeah.
one they show is David. That was interesting that they showed 10 first. Because they showed that in the trailer. I was like, why is there a holographic picture of David next to Shooty? And that's why. And so the Doctor tells him, I'm a Time Lord from Gallifrey. And, like, the Cholders are out there. We got to stop him. And Rogue has this look on his face like, whoa.
Wow.
He's just surprised / elated. And so he shows the Doctor shows Rogue his ship, which is from the I mean, it's the whole, from the outside, it's not that impressive. But then when you look inside, and then the Doctor starts singing, "Come with me, and you'll
And you'll
be in a
be
world of
in
pure
the
imagination."
position.
Which is funny because I saw this clip of Ncuti Gatwa from years ago. He's saying the two roles he'd like to play are the Doctor and Willy Wonka. Kind of fulfilled both of those,
Yeah.
kind of. And so Rogue is inside the TARDIS and like is like admiring it, and like they're both very fascinated with each other. And by fascinated, I mean they're digging each other.
Yep.
You can see like a thing building between these two, but they're both like alone, and like they think they're doomed for that life for constantly because like they keep losing people.
Yeah.
So they both understand each other on levels like that even are not even surface level. And the doctor says like once this is all over, we can like start running around having adventures of our own together, that kind of thing. So they get back to work on looking for these shoulders, and Ruby is with this lady who, I mean, she kind of assumes her role as like the inferior woman of the 1800s, that kind of thing. And there's this guy who looks way too much like Taylor Lautner, like trying to like romance her, but like in secret. Basically, this is playing out exactly like a Bridgerton episode. Apparently,
Yeah. Apparently, I've never actually like.
I don't either, but I'm just assuming because of what Ruby said. This is so Bridgerton. Um, so she kind of makes friends with her, but the guy that looks like Taylor Lautner is one of the shoulder, and then the woman who like is hosting the whole thing is also one of them. So there's at least two by this point. So I'm trying to remember exactly how they figured this out, but like at some point they determined that they're taking the forms of humans because it's like cosplay to them,
Yeah.
and they're doing it because they want to role play. So the Doctor and Rogue have this idea of creating a controversial scene out in front of everybody to draw them in. So, I mean, what was controversial in the 1800s? You might wonder. Well, two men dancing on the dance floor, rather romantically, would have been controversial in the 1800s. So, the Doctor and Rogue go out and start dancing as if they're lovers.
Yeah.
I
And
mean, I
then
say as if they pretty
as
much
if,
would have been, yeah.
but then as they're dancing, fucking Rogue kneels down and offers the doctor one of his rings. Like
Yeah,
this man legit proposed to the doctor.
yeah,
River
and like
Song
and
didn't
like
even
what's
do that.
funny what's funny is for a split second I thought, oh, he's doing it to heighten the drama to draw out the shoulders, but he meant it. That wasn't an act. I think he meant that. Like,
He wanted the
doctor,
doctor.
marry me, and you know, the doctor walked out, and then Rogue went racing after him, and then they're chasing out the shoulders, and when you find out there's a lot more, and then you find out that girl that Ruby's been with the whole time was one of them.
Yeah.
And it looks like that it starts taking Ruby's form. You don't really see what happens, but you assume that it grabbed Ruby and started trying to take her form.
I was so pissed.
And yeah, it doesn't look great for a while. And then like they managed to draw all the shoulders into one room, and that one of them wanted to marry Ruby. I think that was what it was. And so the Doctor comes in and traps them all in that same thing that Rogue was trapping the Doctor in, except they made it bigger
Yeah.
to fit a certain amount of people on it, and they trap them all in there. In fact, the one that looks like Ruby, except that one doesn't look like Ruby. It is Ruby, because what we didn't see was that it fought off that shoulder. So the Doctor trapped Ruby on the thing and can't get her out.
I was so pissed.
And
I was like,
so
no, not my girl.
Rogue is like we have to. We can't let the shoulder go free. But the Doctor has to make that hard decision, and so um, Rogue says, "Can you do it, Doctor?" And then so he takes the trigger from him, kisses the Doctor. He says, "I can." He pushes Ruby out of the way and takes her spot, and he's like, "Come find me," and then pushes it, sends him and the shoulders through it. So Rogue got trapped somewhere, which is heartbreaking because it's like he and the Doctor loved each other, man. It was like, ugh.
Yeah. Oof.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm glad Ruby survived. That would have sucked if she
Yeah, that
didn't.
would have sucked.
But damn, Rogue.
I liked him. I was like, he would absolutely be a good companion.
Yeah. And then the Doctor's like, okay, well let's. After a while, they're like, okay, let's move on. He's like, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm totally fine. I got to keep moving forward because it's what I do. And Ruby's like
Shut
kind
up
of
for a second.
yeah, and then hugs him and just pulls him close. Like yeah, Doc, you got to take a second to just like let it out, man.
Yeah.
You can't just push yourself to like go forward with all this kind of stuff. It's okay to like be not okay. And after taking a second, he realizes he has the ring still, and maybe one day
Puts it on.
I really hope one day we see Rogue again because that would be nice.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if the Doctor finds Rogue whilst with River?
Oof.
First of all, there'd be a lot of drama there because it's like you were already married, but then also maybe polyamory. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. Just spitballing. But that's where that episode ends. And yeah, the episode after this is part one of a two-parter finale that is just insane. And we'll see.
And we haven't seen the second part yet.
No, as of recording, part one only came out a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And we're going to record our review for part one, but it'll be a while before we get to part two. But for that being said, what would you rate Rogue?
Oh, that's a 10 out of 10, dude. Come
Yeah,
on, that was like the best episode
great
so far.
episode. 10 out of 10. I love it. And we will see you next time.
Mwah.